Hello everyone, this is What's Coming in version 3.2 of the Bold Reports release. Today is Thursday, August 26th at 10 a.m. We will go ahead and begin this presentation. Today's webinar will be presented by Richard B. Richard, if you would like to go ahead and present.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. Hello, everyone. I'm glad for the opportunity to present the wonderful webinar today. In this webinar, we'll discuss about the new features which are going to available for Bold Report version 3.2 release, which is expected to be rolled out by September 1st week. Now, let's talk about the enterprise reporting features. In enterprise reporting, we have Azure SQL Data Connector, show or hide the navigation panel based on user permission, set custom theme for navigation panel, change the default font family, custom domain, followed by embedded reporting. We have bookmark support for easy navigation, barcode rendering in header and footer, reset aggregate function in chart series, a new sample browser for your platform. Now let's see one by one in details. Azure SQL Data Connector. Actually, a data connector is a plugin that connects to any database the user wants to retrieve the data from. We have included Azure SQL Data Connector in Report Designer as well as shared data source that can be used to communicate with database to retrieve data from Azure SQL. Let's see an example by creating a data source and data set. Now let's navigate to our report server. Click on data sources. Our page is loading. Let's wait. We can see here we have a list of default data sources which are available. To create a new data source, let's click on create data source. Here we have displayed many list of available data sources. Let's click on Azure SQL. We have two modes. One is basic mode and another one is advanced mode. In basic mode, if you have every option as separate, in such situation, you can use basic mode. In advanced mode, if you have a single shorthand connection string, you can use advanced mode. For now, I am going to use advanced mode. Let me copy my query. Let's navigate our report server and let's paste here and let's provide a name. So, Azure since I have provided the username and password here as a single connection string, let's provide a authentication type as none. We click on that and provide none and click on save and create dataset. Now it will be navigate to creating our dataset. To create our dataset, we have to provide our dataset name and description, which is an optional field. Now let's provide a dataset name as sales info. Now let's click on proceed to query designer. This will be navigating the query designer in a new tab. Now query designer is loading. At left side, we can see the schema region. Under sales schema, let's we have list of tables. Let me drag and drop the store table. You can preview this table by using either using this run, or you can just click on auto preview, or you can use a generate preview. For now, I'm going to click on run. You can see we have the preview of the table. Now let's click on save. Okay, it's loading, it's processing. Wait. Now you can see right here, dataset has successfully added, right? Now let's check in our reporting. Under dataset, let's wait, it's loading. You can Find here, right? We have successfully created our sales info dataset. Let's navigate our presentation. And one. The next one is show or hide the navigation panel based on user permission. Actually, this one is a custom property. This property is enabled by providing some node fields in our config XML file. I have provided the location in the presentation itself. Let's consider a scenario that we have sales administrator want to display only few options to sales such as reports or data set or data source or schedule for all our specific category. In such situation, we can use this option. How this can be done. Let's open our XML file. I have already opened the XML file in my Visual Studio Code. I have also enabled the option as is user base menu as true. You can find here at line number 9. You can find here, right? Let me save and let's switch to our report server. And let's now create a user. To create a user, let's click on users. It will be loading user page. We'll be displaying the list of user. I don't have any user. I'm just the admin. To create a user, let's click on new user and a user option called add user. Click on that. To add a user, we have to provide email address, username, first name, last name as optional field, and password. Let's do this one now. John. Let me click on that. You can notice right here, the user has been successfully added and activated, right? Let's click on OK. Let's copy the base URL in the browser. Copy. Okay. I have successfully copied. Let me open the new incognito window. For that, I am going to press Ctrl Shift N on my keyboard and paste the base URL here. You can see right here, we have login options, right? Here you can provide a username or email address for this one. And provide John. I'm going to provide the username and I'm going to provide the password. Let me log in. So you can see right here, there is no reporting option or creating option or data set creation or data source or schedule. There is no option displayed in the navigation menu, right? We have only the profile and notification there. Let's switch to our administrator. For user Kevin John, I'm going to provide permission. For that, let's click on manage permissions. The page is loading. Let's wait. You can see, right? For Kevin John, there is no permission, right? We don't have any access mode. We have nothing, right? Let's click on add permission. For this user, I'm going to provide permission for accessing all the reports. We have options like we can provide for all categories. Can provide for all data source, all data set. Or if you want to provide in particular category also, you can provide. We have an option called report in specific category. If you want to provide permission only for reports which are specified category, you can also enable this permission. For this user, I'm going to provide for all reports. Let me select that one. And for all reports, I am going to provide a create and read, write, delete. Let me, since I am going to add another, let me enable this one and click on add. And let me select the next one and disable the add another and click on add. Now you can see, right, the user Kevin John has create and read, write, delete options. Now let's navigate to our user, which is in incognito mode. Now let's reload the Kevin John account. Now you can see right here, we have enabled an option to create and report, and we have options to read, write, delete. And here you can find here, right? Now let's move to our presentation. And we have also provided custom theme for our navigation panel. Like consider a scenario, if an application needs some color variation to suit the user application, we can use this option. Actually, this property is also an custom property. This property is enabled by providing node fields under config XML file. Let me navigate to my config XML file and we paste my nodes. You can see the nodes right here, 15 and line number 15 and 16. I have provided option like is custom theme for menu as true, right? Here you can find line number 15. I have enabled is custom theme for menu as true. And under theme styles, you can see I have provided the some colors, right? You can find here, right? I have provided some number background color, and you can see I have provided the text color and text secondary color, right? I have provided some, right? You can just save the file. Let me navigate to my report server, and let me reload the user panel. Okay, now you can see, right? For carrying the navigation panel theme has been applied. Let's check our administrator. I have navigate to my administrator. Let me reload the administrator. Page is loading. Now you can see right here the navigation panel. The theme has been successfully applied. Right. Let me switch to my presentation. Actually, this one is most excited one and requested one also. We have included an option called look and field under UMS. Let's this applicate for previous scenario also. If like consider if an application some font color variants, right, font family changes to suit with the user application. In such cases, you can use this option. Let me navigate to my reporting server. Let me click on my user profile, and just click on the manage site. This will be loading our UMS site. Under let me click on settings. Under setting, you can find a new tab, right? We have included a tab called look and feel. Let me click on that one. We have an option called add a new font, right? By default, we maintain robo to regular font. If you want to upload a new font, we have an option here. Click on add a new font. And font family, we have an option called browse from file path, right? Just click on that. I have few fonts I have already downloaded in my local storage. You can see right here, right? I'm going to use Patrick Hand font. Let me select this one and click on upload. It's loading. Now click on the drop down and select Patrick and regular. Now you can see the difference, right? You can see the difference. Let me zoom in. You can see the text changes, right? The font family has successfully applied. Let us save this one. Okay, now it's successfully saved. Let me switch to my administrator reporting. Let me reload this one. Now you can see here, administrator also the font family has been applied, right? Yeah. Let me stop my presentation. Custom domain. Let's consider a situation, right? If you have two different set of customer faces with two different tenants, where in this situation, we need to map the two tenants in different domain. In such cases, we can use this option. Let us see how this can be done. Let me navigate to my reporting server, and under profile, let me click on manage site. This will be loading our UMS. We have an option at right side corner. You can find here, right? Create site, right? Just click on that. You can find now we have editable option on domain, right? Previously, we don't allow to edit the domain, but now we allow to edit the domain name. Let me set as Kevin. If we set as Kevin, let's see what will be the URL. If we set as Kevin, you can notice here, right? HTTP Kevin/reporting. I mean here you can find the reporting side will be. Let me navigate to my slide. Switch to the next slide, and we have a bookmark navigation. Actually, this one also most requested one. Actually, we have included this option in report designer for easy navigation. There are two major things considered for bookmark navigation. One is it's providing a name and a link. Actually, how this one works is like when we click on the link, it creates a focus to its name. Let's see how this can be done. Let me switch to my Embed platform. I have already created two tables here. One is table 1 and another one is table 2. This is a simple table. Under table 1 we have order quarter and details. Under table 2 we have order quarter, product category, subcategory, and order A and sales. Let us preview this simple report. You can see our report. We have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, right? And we have information what this Q1 is says all about, and we have the detailed information at details, right? Let me switch to the next page. At next page, you can see the table 2. We have Q1 order quarter, right? Q1 Q2, and you can find the Q3 here and Q4 here, which are the table is grouped, right? Now let's close our preview and let's see how we can provide our bookmark navigation. Let's click on order quarter under table 2 and click on the settings, and let me copy the content. So why I'm copying the content? It's like since now I'm going to provide the content value itself as a bookmark name. So I'm going to set the expression under miscellaneous bookmark, right? Let me click on expression and set the content value itself and click OK. Now I have successfully assigned a name for order quarter in table 2, right? Now we have to provide a link, right? For that, let's click on order quarter in table 1, and you can find the link option here, right? Let's expand that, and we have an option called link to. Let's click on and select bookmark, and under bookmark, let's click on expression and set the same field value itself and click OK. Now let's view this report, and you can see, right? You can see the changes right now. You can see the changes. When I hover on Q1, you can see the mouse cursor changes, right? You can see the difference. Let's click on Q1. Have click on Q1. What it does, it's like it create a focus on its name, right? Let me go back and click on Q4. You can notice, right? Create a focus on Q4, right? Let me close the preview and switch to my slide. Barcode in header and footer. Previously, we only allow barcode render in the only main design region. Now we allow barcode rendering in header and footer region also. Let's see how this can be done. Let me navigate to my browser. This one. Actually, this one is a simple report. This report is also found in all our demo websites. Let's preview this report. Actually, the report is loading. And such is loaded, you can see, right? This is a parameter report, a simple parameter report. When I change the parameter, let's see what happens. 10547 I'm choosing and click on view report. When I select 10547, you can see the report order ID value changes and all the fields changes according to the parameter, right? Let's close the report and let's drag and drop the 1D barcode into the header region. And let me resize the barcode. Yeah, I think it's enough. Size is enough. Let me fix in my and let me resize the header. And now let's preview the report. You can see right here header, right? Now the barcode has been applied with its default value. What I'm going to do now, it's and going to assign the inverse value to the barcode. Let's see how this can be done. Now close preview and click on barcode. Under text, you can see the default values, right? Let us provide an expression for this one. Click on expression. Let's delete the zeros, and you can see here parameter, right? Data as parameter, and let's select the inverse ID. You can see the value, right? Parameter value, right? Let's click on OK, and let's preview the report. You can see, right? This is awesome, right? 10252, and our parameter value is also 10252, right? Let me switch another parameter 10547, and let's view the report. And barcode value also 10547. And let me move on to my next slide. Resetting the aggregate function in chart series. Actually, this one also most requested one. Previously, we don't allow resetting the aggregate function in chart series such as y values. Now we allow to reset the process, right? Now let's check that one. Let me move on to next tab. You can see this report, right? This is also a simple report. Actually, this report is also available on all the demo websites. Let now click on chart, and let me click on settings. Under setting, we have properties and data. Let me switch to data, and we have under y values. You can see, right? You can see we have a sum of order percentage. Let me delete this one, and let me drag and drop the order percentage into y values. Let us check what happens now. I have dragged. You can see, right? By default, it's assigning as sum. Now what we have is we have a aggregate option to reset the value as none. Okay, let us check and click on none. Now we have reset as none. Let's preview the report. The report is loading. Let us wait until it's loaded. Now let me check. Now you can see, right, the order percentage value. You can clearly see the value, right? If we want to make next slide. Actually, this one is also a most requested one. We have included a new React sample browser. Let us see a demo, quick demo, right? We switch the tab, and you can see our React sample browser. We have a header section. In the header section, you can navigate to different sample platform, like you have Angular, JavaScript, Core, MEC, and web forms. And using the sidebar, you can scroll and you can view many reports present here. You can switch the reports as you like. Let me, and you have a demo and source and description, right? In demo, you can view the report, and you have an edit option here. By this edit option, you can edit this report under new tab, and you have a source option, right? You have only a simple source. You have only a few lines, right? You have a very simple source, right, to render this report. And we have detailed information about what this report is all about. We have included document section for everything, right? Let me switch to next report. Let me click on product line sales. It's loading. Let us check, right? The report is loaded. You can check the demo, right? You can see the report we rendered successfully. And under source, you can find the simple source for this report rendering. Under description, you can find the detailed information about what this report is all about. You can find what is chart tables, you can chart, and chart report items you can find here. Let me switch to my slide. And thank you for providing me with this opportunity. And thank you once again.
Okay, so now we're going to move forward with a few questions about this. Balaji, I'll call out some questions if you could answer some of them for me. The first frequently asked question we get is, when can we expect the release?
Actually, we are in the final stage of testing phase. We plan to roll out the release by September 1st week.
Okay. And reset aggregate option, whether to affect the already designer report?
No, it's actually, we didn't change the existing default property values. If required, you can change to none option. We just provided the additional option as none.
Okay. Another question we get often is whether I can use the TTF font files to customize the appearance.
Actually, we standardized to WOFF2 font file to support font family customization. In future, based on customer expectation, we will reconsider to allow other file types.
Okay. And how can I change the entire report server application theme instead of the navigation panel alone?
Okay. As for now, there is no option to change the application's entire UI appearance. It's in our feature list queue, and we are aggressively working on it to bring into live at the earliest.
Okay, and the last frequently asked question we get is, do you have any plan for a Blazor sample browser?
Yes, we are already working on this, and we can expect this soon after our main release.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending. This is the end of the webinar, and you will receive a follow-up email shortly. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your days.